My name is Craig Legier, and I am a permanent deacon for the Diocese of Reno, Nevada, assigned to St. Teresa's of Avila Catholic Community in Carson City, Nevada. I have been ministering to the homeless for many years in several different locations. When I retired in 2012, my wife and I moved to Carson City. One of the first things I did was to contact our local sheriff to ask how I might help make things easier for the Sheriff's Department while ministering to those living on the streets of Carson City, Nevada. Strangely enough, the tables were turned and the sheriff asked me to become a chaplain for the department. In 2016, 4 homeless died on the streets from exposure. Simply put, they froze to death. I was called to help identify 3 of the deceased. When all settled down, I vowed that if it was in my power and by the will of God, no one would freeze to death in Carson City again. I approached our pastor with an idea. He bought into it, and we were off and running. I then contacted several other churches in town asking that they support our efforts to bring some comfort and warmth to those living on the streets of our hometown. In 2017, we began what we now call NOTS, Night Off the Streets. The concept is simple. Each church would open their doors 7 nights per week for 1 month. The idea caught on. This is what we call home. When we leave with the bus to come back, we come to the location of the church. This is what we have. We come through the front door in a line. We have the greeting table. We take their name, their date of birth, and their temperature. Now with the pandemic, we're still doing that. And then we come back in here. This section here is where the ladies sleep. Then we have the main section of the building for the men. And then the far section, we curtain that off for those who like to go to bed early. There's about 13 of them over there. Right now, we're running anywhere from 25 to 35 people in here at the night. They come in, they have the community table here. They're allowed to sit there all night if they like. They have to talk as if they're in a library to keep it quiet so the others could sleep. We offer decaf coffee, we offer hot water and instant hot chocolate. Outside of that, no other foods unless they bring it in, and that's for themselves or if they'd like to share it. They're here, some of them will walk in at 8:30. We come in with the bus about 5 after 9. Those that walk in have to wait for the bus to come in, and for those to come in first because they've crossed town. Otherwise it becomes a fight of whose bed's whose, okay? And that's the way we set it up. They're here, lights are out at 10 o'clock. We turn the lights back on at 6 in the morning. We wake them up. They have to vacate the premise by 6:30. That gives us time to clean everything up and get ready for whatever the church's needs are that day. The beauty of NOTS is the transformation that has taken place in our religious communities. We have 5 churches each opening their doors for a month between November and the end of March. We have over 200 volunteers from as many as 12 different denominations working to do what we know is needed, taking care of the least of my brothers and sisters. As of this year, NOTS has a steering committee comprised of volunteers from many of our different congregations, making this a truly ecumenical endeavor, a glue that holds us together and allows us to see the love of Christ in many different ways. Because we recognize that we are no more than a Band-Aid, we have partnered with many of our social services in our area. We have had some amazing results. We have helped to find full-time housing for 22 of our guests. 11 are now working full-time. 3 have entered rehab and are in long-term sobriety. Thus far this year, we have supplied 2,944 beds in 4 months and 2 weeks. This is an increase over the same time last year of 21.5%. The average age of our guests is 51.6 years of age. The youngest guest this year was 1.5 years old. He had a brother 9 years of age. They are now in foster care. The oldest is 79 years old. She lost her rented apartment when they raised the rates beyond what she could afford on her Social Security. There are so many people who have worked so hard to make NOTS a reality. I truly believe my role was to be the catalyst, to create the opportunity for people to do what they wanted to do all along, bless the community by caring for those who are not able to care for themselves. Through the support of so many, we have grown. Now we are applying for our 501c3, the tax-exempt status, looking for a location to better serve our people year-round. This takes time and cooperation and serious planning. That's who we are, a bunch of crazies trying to do God's will.